Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today with a message that will challenge your mindset, redefine your self-worth, and shift your perspective on relationships. There comes a time in life when silence becomes more powerful than words, when absence speaks louder than presence, and when detachment creates transformation. We live in a world where people take kindness for weakness, where consistency is mistaken for desperation, and where accessibility is often undervalued. But what happens when you remove yourself? What happens when you step back, when you no longer engage, when you ghost him completely? There is a principle in life that many fail to understand. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. If a person believes that you will always be available, always answering, always forgiving without change, then they will never value you. But when you choose to disappear, when you cut the connection, something profound happens. The absence creates reflection, the silence creates curiosity, and the distance creates desire. Ghosting is not about revenge, it is about revelation. It reveals the truth about where you stand in someone's life. Sometimes your greatest power is in your ability to walk away. We hold on because of fear, we chase because of insecurity, and we settle because of loneliness. But when you remove yourself, when you reclaim your value, something unexpected occurs. Either the person realizes what they lost, or you realize what you gained. And in both cases, you win. Today, I will share with you 7 key principles that explain why ghosting is not just an emotional reaction, but a strategic move. These principles will help you understand the power of your absence, the strength in your silence, and the wisdom in walking away. If you have ever felt ignored, disrespected, or undervalued, then this message is for you. Pay close attention because this could be the turning point in your life. Silence is the loudest answer. There is something powerful about silence. In a world where people seek constant validation, where communication is instant, and where attention is currency, silence becomes an anomaly. When you ghost someone, when you withhold your presence, your words, and your energy, you create a vacuum that demands attention. Silence forces a person to confront their own thoughts, to question their own behavior, and to evaluate their own actions. It is not just the absence of words, it is the presence of consequence. Many people misunderstand silence. They think that if they stop responding, if they walk away, they will be forgotten. But the truth is, silence lingers in the mind longer than words do. Words can be argued with, debated, or dismissed, but silence cannot be ignored. It leaves a question mark where there was once a period. It forces the other person to wonder, to analyze, and to rethink. When you ghost someone completely, you are making a statement without speaking. You are saying, I am not an option. I am not to be played with. I am not here to be taken for granted. The impact of this is profound. Some will try to test your silence, to provoke a reaction, to manipulate you back into engagement. But the strongest message you can send is consistency. Do not break your silence for temporary comfort. Do not allow loneliness to make you reopen a door that was meant to be closed. Silence also works as a filter. It separates those who truly care from those who only cared about what they could get from you. It exposes the ones who were only in your life out of convenience. Those who were feeding off your energy but never pouring into you. When you stop giving them access, their true colors are revealed. If they do not fight for your presence, then they never valued it in the first place. So understand this. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is a tool of discernment. It allows you to see who respects you in your absence, who notices when you are gone, and who was only using you for their own benefit. When you ghost him completely, you are not just leaving, you are teaching. You are teaching self-respect, boundaries, and the lesson that no one should ever be taken for granted. Absence creates reflection. One of the most underestimated forces in human relationships is absence. When you remove yourself from a person's life, you force them to confront their own emotions, behaviors, and decisions. Absence is like a mirror. It compels a person to see what they took for granted. Most people do not realize the value of something until it is no longer available to them. As long as you are always present, always available, and always giving, the other person has no reason to reflect on what you mean to them. When you ghost him completely, you create an empty space where your presence used to be. That void demands attention. It triggers thoughts like, why did she leave? What did I do wrong? Did I misjudge her worth? These are the kinds of questions that force a person to look inward. And here's the truth. Self-reflection often leads to realization. Some will come to regret the way they treated you, while others will recognize that they never truly deserved you in the first place. Either way, your absence is serving a purpose. Human beings are creatures of habit. When something is constant, it becomes background noise. Your texts, your calls, your presence, if always given freely, become a routine that is expected rather than appreciated. But when you remove yourself from the equation, the routine is disrupted. It is only then that a person realizes that what they thought was guaranteed can be lost. It is in absence that they begin to appreciate presence. Some people need to experience life without you to understand what you brought to them. Your absence gives them space to compare. It allows them to see the difference between what you offered and what others bring. More often than not, they will find that what they once ignored was actually priceless. This is why silence and distance are sometimes the best teachers. You cannot always explain your worth. Sometimes people must learn it on their own. But absence does not just work on the other person, it works on you too. It gives you clarity. When you step away, you begin to see things differently. You start to recognize your own patterns, your own needs, and your own worth. You start to question whether the connection was truly healthy or if it was merely a cycle of giving without receiving. Many people discover in their absence that they were holding on to something that was never truly holding on to them. So, understand this. Absence is not a weakness, it is a strategy. It separates those who truly care from those who only cared when it was convenient. It forces a person to evaluate their own actions. It creates space for truth to be revealed. When you ghost him completely, you are not just disappearing. You are giving him the opportunity to realize what he lost. And in that space, you will find your own strength, clarity, and power. Detachment reveals true intentions. Detachment is one of the most powerful forces in human interaction. It strips away illusion and reveals truth. When you ghost someone, when you remove your energy, your attention, and your presence, you are giving them the opportunity to show you their true feelings. If they care, they will notice. If they don't, they will move on without hesitation. Either way, you receive clarity. Many people stay in situations that are unhealthy because they fear losing someone. But the real question is, can you truly lose someone who was never really invested? If a person only values you when you are constantly available, constantly giving, constantly proving your worth, then their feelings were never real. True relationships are built on mutual appreciation. not unforced presence. When you detach, you allow space for the truth to emerge. You stop feeding the illusion that the other person actually cares, when in reality they only cared about what you provided. And when you see the truth, you gain power. Because once you realize that someone's attachment to you is based on convenience rather than genuine love, you are free. Detachment also removes manipulation. Many people are skilled at using emotional tactics to keep you attached. Guilt, false promises, temporary affection. But when you ghost them completely, you take away their power to manipulate. They can no longer pull you back with sweet words, empty apologies, or momentary kindness. Detachment exposes what words often hide. But perhaps the greatest revelation that comes with detachment is self-discovery. The moment you stop focusing on someone else's feelings, you start understanding your own. You realize what you need, what you deserve, and what you will no longer tolerate. Detachment is not about punishing the other person. It is about liberating yourself. So remember this. Detachment is not indifference. It is wisdom. It does not mean you don't care. It means you care enough about yourself to stop accepting less than you deserve. And when you ghost him completely, you are not just stepping away from him. You are stepping into a new level of self-respect and clarity. Distance increases value. There is a universal truth that applies to every area of life. What is easily accessible is rarely appreciated. The more available something is, the less value people assign to it. This is why luxury brands are expensive, why exclusive events are sought after, and why people are drawn to what they cannot easily have. The same principle applies in relationships. The more someone has unlimited access to you, the less they feel the need to value you. When you ghost someone completely, you are removing access. You are no longer easily reachable. You are no longer a constant presence. And in doing so, you become valuable. Suddenly, the person who took you for granted starts to feel your absence. They start to wonder where you went, why you left, and what they did wrong. And in that wondering, appreciation begins to form. Distance forces people to reassess their priorities. When you were always there, they did not have to make an effort. But now that you are gone, they must decide if you are worth pursuing. If they truly care, they will reach out. If they do not, their silence will confirm what you needed to know. But distance does more than just test the other person. It also transforms you. It allows you to shift your focus from seeking validation to recognizing your own worth. You start to realize that you do not need to chase anyone. The right person will always recognize your value without needing to be reminded. Many people fear that if they distance themselves, they will be forgotten. But the opposite is often true. What is rare is remembered. What is absent is missed. What is inaccessible is desired. This is why celebrities maintain mystique. Why successful people do not beg for attention, and why those who respect themselves naturally attract more respect from others. So never underestimate the power of distance. It does not weaken relationships. It strengthens the right ones and exposes the wrong ones. When you ghost him completely, you are not just disappearing, you are increasing your worth. And the one who truly values you will always make an effort to find you again. Rejection is redirection to something greater. Rejection is one of the most painful experiences, yet it is also one of the most powerful teachers. Many people take rejection personally as a sign that they are not good enough. But the truth is, rejection is often divine protection. It is life's way of removing you from situations that do not serve you. It is not a loss. It is a redirection towards something better. When you ghost him completely, you are not just walking away from him, you are walking towards something greater. Too often, we hold on to people who are not meant for us, simply because we fear being alone. But what if your future was waiting for you on the other side of letting go? What if the person you were crying over was actually blocking the person you were meant to be with? Rejection is never about your worth. It is about alignment. Sometimes the person you are trying to hold on to is not capable of loving you the way you deserve. Sometimes their rejection is the very thing that will push you toward the life and love you were meant to have. But you will never see this truth if you stay stuck in a place where you are not valued. Think about the doors that have closed in your life. At the time, they may have seemed like the worst thing that could have happened. But looking back, you can see that they led you to something better. That job you didn't get pushed you toward a better career. That relationship that ended made space for someone who truly appreciated you. That rejection that once broke you actually built you into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. The problem is most people resist the process. They chase after those who have already let them go. They try to force relationships that are not meant to be. But when you ghost someone, you are accepting the truth. You are saying, I will not force myself where I am not wanted. I will not beg for love. I will trust that what is meant for me will never require me to beg for it. So, embrace rejection. See it as a blessing, not a curse. Let go of what is not meant for you. And when you ghost him completely, do so with the confidence that life is redirecting you to something far greater than you ever imagined. Ladies and gentlemen, the power of absence, silence, and detachment cannot be underestimated. When you ghost someone completely, you are not just walking away from them. You are stepping into your own power. You are setting a standard. You are teaching the world how you deserve to be treated. And most importantly, you are proving to yourself that you are enough, with or without anyone else's validation. The right people will always recognize your value. The wrong ones will only realize it when you are gone. Either way, your job is to stand firm in your self-worth. Never beg for love. Never chase those who walk away. Never settle for less than you deserve, because the moment you choose yourself, the world starts to respond differently to you. So ghost him completely. Watch what happens next. And more importantly, watch how you transform in the process. Because the best version of yourself is waiting on the other side of letting go.